What is up, everybody, and welcome to another Elden Ring video. Today we're going to be talking about the ultimate armor stat video. It's going to give you a better idea to understand what item is better than the other, what should you put depending on what build or class you're working towards, and how to know exactly if something's good, if you should discard it, sell it, and all that good stuff. So if all this sounds like something you're definitely interested, a like would be greatly appreciated because it does help us out with the algorithm. So today, guys, I was playing the game, and one of my buddies said, Laser, I don't understand what item I need to keep, what item I need to discard. Is this better? I just see like the difference of like turning blue, turning red. So that just basically tells me it's better than the other one, but is that what I really want to know? So today I want to break down everything that has to do with the item so you're able to understand and identify which item you should keep and which one you should probably discard. So we're going to be breaking down this into three stats. We're going to be basing it on base stats, offensive power stats, and defensive power stats, and then we're going to go to body stats, okay? So we're going to get started with the base stats, and I'm going to highlight it right here exactly where these base stats are located when you look at an item. So the base stats, whenever you look at an item, are going to be located on the right-hand side, and we're highlighting it right here. Let's go ahead and make this just a tad bigger so you guys can see exactly what we're talking about. So in these stats, guys, we're going to have stuff like HP. Now, I'm pretty sure the majority of you guys, if you played RPG games, you know what HP is. For those of you who don't know, these are health points. This just means how much health your character has. The next one is FP. These are focus points in Elden Ring. This is basically determining how much casting you could do when you're within that focus point. So if you do magic, like if you're a magic character, you wanted to have this as highest level as you possibly can, because that means that you'll be able to do more casts frequently than you would if you don't have this really high. The next stat we have is stamina. Stamina is just pretty much the amount of energy your character has. So I'm pretty sure if you guys played any games at all, you guys already know these two, at least HP and stamina. Those are pretty basic when it comes to gaming. The next one that we have is the max equipment load. Now, the max equipment load is just pretty much tells you how much of the equipment you can actually carry or have on you. Now, this includes armor. It also includes materials. So you got to keep in mind two things. Number one is how heavy can your armor be, and how much inventory you can actually keep without overweighing yourself and making yourself really slow. Then we have, guys, the next one, which is called poise. This basically tells you how much damage you could possibly take from a final blow. So the higher poise you have, the more likelihood you will survive a big blow from an enemy. The less poise you have, the more likelihood you will get one hit or one shot. So if your poise is pretty high, that means you should be able to survive a one hit without dying. The next one, guys, is we have discoverability. Discoverability is not explained in the game very much, but basically discoverability, a lot of people think you'll be able to find more items frequently. No, discoverability, the way it works, it just pretty much increases the drop rate from the enemies that you kill within the world. So that pretty much covers the base stats. All right, so the next stats we're going to be looking are called body stats. These will probably give you an idea of how much you can actually deal with damage inflicted, including specific poison or other ailments. So we have immunity, robustness, focus, vitality, and poise. So immunity will tell you how much reduction to poison and blight you actually are immune to. Robustness is a similar stat to immunity. This pretty much just shows you how resistant your character will be to harmage and frostbite. So depending on who you're fighting or where you're going within the map, you're going to want to increment that or decrease that depending on where you're at. Focus is pretty much the amount of focus you actually have as a player, but it also increases the resistance to sleep and madness. And then the last one we have is vitality. The higher this one is, the more likelihood you have to not get one-shotted, because this actually raises your health and decreases the chance of being insta-killed with one shot. So that pretty much covers, guys, the body stats. So now that we already talked about that, now let's take a look at the defensive power stats. These are going to be located right here, and these are called damage negation. They should have just kept it, I would have just kept the defensive stats. I think that would have made a little bit more sense to anybody. And these stats will show you how much defense you have against a variety of different attacks from other enemies. The number will take into account any resistance from immunity provided by any attributes. So we take a look at this helmet right here. It's going to tell us that if we get attacked physically, we have a 1.8 extra chance of actually being able to kind of defend that attack. Now, VS strike defense, so whenever we get striked upon, we have a 1.8. Whenever we get slashed, we have a 1.4. Whenever we get pierced, we have a 0.9. whenever someone throws magic at us, we have a 4.6. Whenever we get attacked by fire, 4.6. Whenever we get attacked by lightning, we have a 4.4. And we ever get attacked by holy, we have a 4.6 resistance to that particular elements. So this is extremely important because depending on the boss you're fighting or depending on the area that you're in, you're going to pretty much know, okay, I'm in this area, there's a lot of magic casting going here. Let me put a helmet that actually has more resistance to magic. Or if you're in an area where there's more melee combat and there's more up and close combat, then you're going to want to make sure you change that helmet to something that has more physical strike, slash, and piercing defense. So this gives you a better idea. Okay, so I have a helmet for defensive purposes against magic, and I have another helmet for defensive purposes against melee attacks. Now the last stat we're going to be taking a look at is found within your weapon. So that's going to be your attack power or your offensive power stats. These are going to involve physical attack, magic attack, fire attack, lightning attack, holy attack, critical attack, sorcery scaling, and of course incantation stats, right? So this is found whenever you look at any particular weapon, you'll be able to kind of get these stats pulled up. And depending on the weapon you have, will give you some better stats than others. The big thing we're here to take note is, once again, knowing how you want to play as a character. Are you going to be doing a lot of critical hits? Then you want to make sure you get a weapon that has a lot of critical hit damage. If you're trying to do a lot of magic, of course you want a weapon that does more damage with magic, and that's all dependent on your stats. This is kind of a little bit self-explanatory because attack power just kind of gives you a better idea of what you're actually going to be doing more damage with. But I kind of wanted to break down the stats of the armor because it doesn't really explain it that well. And I know a lot of you guys had questions about the stats of the armor, so I wanted to kind of give you guys a better idea of how exactly these stats work and what they actually do. Now, if you guys have any additional questions about the game, drop them down in the comment section down below. We'll definitely try to answer them as quickly as we possibly can. Or if not, we'll make a video with the topic seems to be a little bit longer than just answering a question. I hope you guys are enjoying our Elden Ring coverage. If you are doing the Heat's favor, guys, drop a comment, drop a like. But most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Turn on all your notifications so you guys won't miss when our videos go live. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.